guys, what's up everybody? Thank you so much for clicking by to my YouTube channel. Welcome and welcome back. My name is Viola Mirasi and welcome to another video. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for consuming my content and supporting me. If you are a new subscriber, karibu sana and welcome to the family. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, give me a thumbs up, leave your thoughts in the comment section below, and share, and lastly turn on the notification bell so that every time I upload a video you are able to be notified. So where does my story start? Of course, my story starts at birth, but if I start to talk about that, this video will be like forever and ever. So allow me to start my story, go back when I finished high school. So I finished high school, I moved to Nairobi with my sister, stayed with her, stayed with my brother, then went back again, stayed with my sister. Now during this time we were staying with two sisters of mine. So what happened is that I used to come for holidays, or not even holidays. I used to come once in a while home, because now I was not going to school. I had not joined school. So on the process of coming back home, I met this man through a mutual person. So I remember I was staying in Nairobi and he was staying in a different location that was quite far. So at this one particular point, I had come back home to visit my parents. So in the process, he had tried to shoot his shots, but I wasn't giving him. He tried again to shoot his shot, and this time I gave in. Apparently we met through a mutual person, and he wasn't that stranger to me, so it wasn't hard to give in or something. I had known him, but I hadn't known him in a personal level. So we started dating. I was home for quite a period of time, and we knew each other. So when my time came for me to go back to Nairobi, I went back. So I remember 1 month or so after going back to Nairobi, then I started being sick. It wasn't that normal sickness. I was quite sick. I was vomiting. I was feeling pain in my lower belly, and it was very severe because it used to come like from my lower belly to my back. So at this particular time I was using my mom's medical cover. So one of my sisters took me to the hospital. I had not shared with my family that I was pregnant at this time. So when she took me to the hospital, I got tested. I had done the test and I knew what was happening to me, and I had not shared with her. So when we went to the hospital, they were like, okay, you have come with who? Because I was in my early 20s and I was in school. So I called my sister in, and the nurse shared with her that I was expectant. So she was very shocked. She didn't know like such a thing could happen, but that was what we had in the table at that particular moment. So we talked. I talked with her. She was very supportive. Disappointed, she was very supportive. She took me back home. I took the medicine, and the sickness became more and more severe. I remember even at one point my brother came to visit me, and I don't want to say I was dying, but I was feeling extremely painful. So when I went to the hospital, I was told that I had malaria, I had typhoid, and then I was developing, how is it called? I was really feeling some burn in my chest. How is it called? I was developing ulcers. Because during that period I couldn't eat. Anything that I ate I could puke, and now the smell also started affecting me, and that is a story for another day. So the sickness became severe. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't cook. I became dysfunctional totally. So my sister, I don't know what happened. She shared with my other sister. So now this my other sister is the one that told my mom that I was expectant. So when my mom was being told that I was expectant, I wasn't there to see the reaction. But the thing is that every parent is always disappointed when their child is pregnant at an age that is still very young. I was still underage. I had not done my I was still underage. I was not done with my college. So it became as a blow. It became as a disappointment. And my dad was also disappointed, but they were supportive. So when the sickness became so severe, I had to now come back home. I had dropped out of school. Then I came back home. So when I was at home, the sickness continued until I was like 3 months. And then now I became normal. A normal pregnant woman now. So I continued in my pregnancy journey. So many challenges, because I was feeling bad. The truth of the matter is that I was feeling bad. I was feeling like my other schoolmates are continuing with the studies. I could not continue with studies because I was extremely sick. Most of my first trimester I was under bed rest. So there is nothing that I couldn't do. I couldn't even barely read. So it continued like that. And then when 9 months came, I gave birth. And so when I was almost giving birth, we started staying together. And now I could see him on a daily basis. He could see me on a daily basis. He could know me deeper. I could know him deeper. And before I gave birth, we started having some issues. But I didn't want them to sink into my mind because they were really stressing me up. And I was in my last trimester. I was in my last weeks. I just wanted to have my humble time, finish the journey safe, meet my son, and then pick it up from there. So after giving birth, we continued to stay together. I gave birth to a very handsome, bouncing baby boy. And just from the day one, he really loved his son. That is one thing that I can say. He has always loved his son, always been a great dad, despite the fact that he was not a good partner or a great partner to me. He has always been a great dad. So he was supportive of the baby. He continued to be positive about the baby, but now issues started coming up. And remember, we started having these issues before I gave birth. So when I gave birth, I was like, now I could give an ear, or even I could give a chance to these issues that were coming, these issues that were happening. So we continue. So these issues were coming. So I tried to resolve these issues. For the sake of my son, I tried to solve these issues for a very quite a number of months, because I never wanted to make my child grow without a dad. But I was pushed, and I reached my limits. I could not do it anymore. These are things that I never expected from my partner at that particular time. So I was being stressed out that I wasn't even able to produce enough milk. I wasn't able to be a good person at that particular time. I felt like those things were really sinking into me. And for me to be a great mom, for me to love my child, for me to give my best, I couldn't just take it anymore. So when the betrayal became worse and worse and worse and worse, I had to make a decision at some point, because I tried to resolve them for months for the sake of my child, and there was no improvement. Instead, they were getting worse and worse. Sometimes I even brushed some. Just to ensure that my kid had a dad. But you see, these things just blew up and I couldn't take it anymore. And that's when I made a decision to walk away of this relationship, because I couldn't just keep up with the betrayal. So at one time, just one day, I let him know that okay, we have been trying to resolve these things, but I'm not seeing any change. I'm sinking into depression. I feel like I'm not being a good mom, even though I was trying, but I feel like psychologically I was not doing okay. So how was I going to be a good mom to someone if me myself, I wasn't even okay? I wasn't even in a good space. As much as I had love within me and I was trying to give it all to my baby, like psychologically I was fed up. Psychologically I was not okay. So I chose myself, and I chose my happiness, and I chose my baby. And that's when I decided to walk out of this relationship. After giving it my all, I gave it my all. When things weren't changing, or there was no any improvement, I had to leave. So that's how I found myself as a single mom. So I started my journey as a single mom. Basically, when you are a single mother, it is not easy. It is not easy. It is not easy. If you are not a single mama yet, please try. Please try if you can just avoid the situations. But now again, you can never blame anyone for being a single parent, because if my book was just given to me and I was told that, okay, this day, such a day, you will become a single mom, trust you me, I will change everything and just change my story, and I will just take another different direction so that I could avoid being a single mom. So I started my life, went back at home. Now I had to think quickly. Remember, I had not finished school. I didn't have any certificate with me. The only thing that I had was my birth certificate, my ID, and my baby, who now became my other certificate forever and ever. So I didn't want to sink so much things into my head. I just told myself, like, okay, now we have to be focused. So I managed to raise the child until, because I came out of the relationship when the baby was around the baby was like 5 months. So I came out of the relationship when the baby was around 5 months. So I stayed with him for like 3 months, and then I stayed with him for like 3 months, and then I went back to school. So I became totally focused, because I knew what I wanted at this particular point in my life. I needed certificates so that I can be able to feed my baby. I didn't want to pull the burden to my family members, no. So I tried as much as possible to just be focused and be active, and stop stressing myself, leave that behind, and just pack myself together, fix myself physically, emotionally, spiritually, mentally, so that I can be able to be somebody at one time. So when my baby was around 9 months, I left him with my mom, and I'm always grateful for my mom because she agreed to be with my baby. She was very supportive. My dad was supportive. Despite the disappointment, they were very supportive, and they helped me pick myself from where I had drowned. They helped me pick myself from that depression and all that. And that is something that I'm always grateful. I will always live to appreciate. So when I joined back, I was very much focused. I managed to finish my studies within that duration. So I could go to school, and then during holidays or even after a week or so, I will come back. When I went back to school, I became so much focused because I didn't want to disappoint myself once again, because at that point when things crashed, I felt like I didn't only disappoint my family, I didn't only disappoint other people, I did disappoint myself 1,000 times. That is the truth of the matter. So one thing that I did after going back to school is just being focused. I was so much focused, and at this point of the time, I really knew what I wanted and I went for it. And I managed to finish and graduate, and I was just so happy. I was just so much happy, and I can just give a tap on myself because it wasn't easy. First of all, when I was going, my baby was still breastfeeding, so the milk, I found it very hard to like take him out of the milk, and then at that time the milk will get hard, and it took me some time so that my girls could feel okay once again. So but I tried, and I just want to take this up, and I'm always grateful for my parents who were there, who always believed in me, that they could give me a second chance. And trust you me, I took that second chance and grabbed it and just used it wisely. So one thing I can say is that being a single parent, no one chooses to be a single parent. But what I can tell you is that be a parent when you are ready, because it is never guaranteed that when you are married to someone, you will be there with them forever. You never know. Things can happen, despite the fact that we date so that we can be there in this relationship forever and ever and ever. But where people are right now, some people don't value relationship, don't value and respect marriage as much as it should be. And therefore I can just say that ensure that when you are getting yourself into the shoe of becoming a mom or a dad, you are ready psychologically, financially, mentally, spiritually. All these combined are very important. And what I can say is that if you are already a single mom, you are doing a great job, and continue just doing that great job. There is no payment, it's the fulfillment. And you are the parent that chose to stay. You are the parent that stood, and you are there. So never beat up yourself, never be that guilty, never feel like you failed. No, it's just situation that made you, or it's just situation that pushed you towards that corner. And if you are someone who has not yet given birth, I will just say that don't do it until you're ready. Don't just do it until you're ready. Be ready, be ready, be ready, be ready, and be ready. Be ready is just the word. And yeah, that was my journey, and I'm just proud of myself at this moment of time, because doors really opened, and my baby came with so much blessings. As much as we always say that these kids are blessing, yes, true, they are blessing. And my baby came with a lot of blessing, and came with a lot of opportunities and door openings. But again, remember that these blessings sometimes can become, which is the best word that I can use? These blessings can sometimes hold you back, can sometimes make you miss opportunities, and it doesn't mean that they're not a blessing. No, they're still a blessing, and just work with whatever you have, and just be positive that everything will work well and everything will fall into place at the right time. That was it. That was my story. Thank you so much for keeping me company. If you have subscribed, thank you so much. If you haven't subscribed, kindly hit the subscribe button and join the family. Turn on the notification bell so that every time I upload a video, you are able to be notified. And don't forget to give me a thumbs up. It really supports my channel. Make sure you watch the ads, and don't forget to leave for me your thoughts in the comment section below. Talk to me. That was my story. My name is Viola Mirasi.